Good morning, viewers around the world. Good day to you all. This is Mark Godwin Iwejuwa stepping in to our Wednesday program, Global Update, Global Africa, SSM Global Africa. We're here to give our Wednesday update, midweek update. You're welcome. So joining me as usual from different parts of the world. And when I say different parts of the world, I truly mean that. I mean, we have the world covered, from the north to the south to the east to the west. And in faraway Toronto, Canada, is my brother and coordinator, Sir George Chukwu, joining us here this morning. George, how are you?
I am wonderful. Good morning, Mark Godwin. How are you? And viewers from around the world, we want to welcome you to our show today. You stay tuned, that it's going to be a wonderful one.
Thank you, George. Thank you for also making the sacrifice to wake up early morning to give viewers your updates. We appreciate this, George. Thank you.
Thank God.
Also, far away Lagos, Nigeria, we need somebody there at all points in time. He's our man, coordinator, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, viewers across the world. Good morning.
Yes, it's good to see you, Raji. Raji, the network issue doesn't look like it got you. I mean, we had what happened. You look all bright, lively, and your network, your devices look like you even upgraded them. Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Nice. You're welcome, gentlemen. Gentlemen, it's a beautiful Wednesday here in Milan. I don't know how the weather is there. It's a little bit sunny here. So, but what is not sunny is some of the stories we're going to be giving from Nigeria. Breaking news just came in, how the army has gone to rescue 16. 16. Take note of that number, 16. But we're talking of about 200 and something people, but 16 has been rescued. And we're talking of the adoption in Kajuru, Kaduna, north of Nigeria. Kaduna, the troops of Nigerian army said they engaged with the bandits in a gunfight yesterday, and 16 persons have been released out of the 100 and something that were abducted on Sunday night. The army announced this yesterday, and the bandits, they say, are at large. They invaded that community around 10 p.m. on Sunday, broke into people's shop, looted foodstuff, took away people. But this last night, the army spokesman, Onyema Nwachukwu, says they've been able to rescue 16 of those people. Raji, let me start with you. 16 out of 200. And take note, we have more abduction that has happened in different parts of Kaduna. But now 16. Is that an impressive rescue, or they need to do more?
I think the 16 were those who were recently abducted in Kajuru. The original 87 children who were taken from other parts of the same area we've not heard much about them. So the 16 is not out of 200 who were abducted, but just 16 of those who were abducted from Kajuru. Now the abductions are becoming very, 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 very
rampant.
I don't want to say unfortunate, but becoming too rampant, and the numbers keep on increasing. And I wonder what the local authorities are doing, because I believe that if that number of people are abducted regularly, then there must be something seriously happening in that area, that the security in that area need to be upgraded. And it is the responsibility of the local people to take care of their own security, because it directly affects them. I don't understand. It has been consistent. It's not something that happens once in a while. It's been too consistent for them not to rise up to defend or to secure their environment.
Raji, Mr. Raji, can you please tell us, what would you want a man or a woman or a child with no gun to do against such militant terrorists when they come with their guns and with their ammunition, sophisticated ammunitions, AK-47s and AK-45s and all those military type of weapons? What would you want them to do? How can they rise up against these people if it is their responsibility to protect themselves, not the government?
I'm talking about the local authority. It starts from the township, from the local government up to the state. Okay. It is not right for something happening in Kajuru to be made the responsibility of the central government in Abuja.
Okay.
I don't think it's right.
No.
So there are layers of security that should be taken care of. So why has it been? And when you look at the movement of these abductors, they don't come singly, they come in a group. And when they are taking people, they don't take one or two people, they take 200. How do you transport 200 people? How do you
transport our road? On a federal road?
Anywhere.
They move through federal road,
anywhere, even through bushes
of Nigeria.
Yes. How do you do that without being noticed?
No, the question is this. Okay, the question is this. If we have
gentlemen, George, sorry, let's bring in.
Hold tight. This is very important.
I mean, somebody's on the screen. Somebody's on the screen. He can't be on the screen, and we don't introduce him. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, with us is Femi Oke, Sorosoke Conveyor, and he's here to really Sorosoke because the issues burning. George, go ahead.
Yes. No, because I'm trying to understand, being here in Canada, and I know I'm seeing what is happening in Nigeria. So, he mentioned, if we don't have a state police, what we have is federal police, and they might be there. And maybe most of these police officers, their equipment that they have is not as sophisticated as these terrorists that are coming. So I'm just trying to really understand the expectations of what the community ought to be doing in order to protect themselves. Because where I am,
but George, let me help you.
Okay.
I know Femi has something to say on this too. What strategies are implying is the government needs to decentralize the security arm. Security activities should also be given to indigenous community. Not a central thing, so that way, when you have an indigene as in the security arm, he understands his community, he understands what happens in his locality, so he can very well address these security issues. Femi, okay, can you come in on this, please?
Well, all these things are local. Politics is local, security is local, and one would expect that for like what my other guests have said, for 200 plus people to be abducted, it's not a normal number. And how can they do that in clear daylight or darkness, in plain sight, and get away with it? I feel there's some conspiracy within the communities. Nothing is as straightforward as you see. And I watched, I don't know if you've been watching quite a few speakers from the North, the Northern Elders Forum and so on, who say that, the president is a Southerner, but the heads of defense are Northerners. The NSA is a Northerner. The problem is in the North. I've always found it really despicable when I see most people from the South, from the South, calling people Janjaweed this, Fulanization this, saying they're invading this and all this kind of rubbish, when the main problem of insecurity in Nigeria is where? In the North. It's not in the South. Although we've had what happened in Bayelsa, we've had what happened in Delta recently, we know what's happened in the Southeast. But if you want to know where insecurity is rife in Nigeria right now, it is in the North. Whether it's Northeast, Northwest, North Central, they are in chaos. And that's because of the bequeath of lack of education by their political leaders. They have caused this mess. Since the 60s of Tafawa Balewa and Ahmadu Bello, when they felt that religion was what they need, they don't need education, we don't need to enlighten our people, we need to keep the hegemony and all that kind of stuff. They have caused this mess. You know, so at the end of the day, millions of uneducated Nigerians, unemployed Nigerians, doing nothing, roaming around the place, they're going to go into criminality. They're going to go into criminality. So at the end of the day, you need to quell that issue. You need to give them jobs to do. You need to give them things to be thinking about rather than killing and trying to survive by kidnapping. And who are they kidnapping at the end of the day? They're kidnapping their own people. And not even the rich people, they're kidnapping the poor people. The elite are not hardly being kidnapped. I mean, there are a few of them getting kidnapped, but majority of the ones we're seeing now, when they kidnap 200 and so people, they're people in the village, people in schools that are innocent children.
Okay.
So
Gentlemen,
all Nigerians should be concerned about this. You know, I mean, the local community must do more, but these things are cross borders, cross states. So you can't leave it just to the states, because they go from Zamfara, they go to Kaduna, they go to Bauchi, they go to different Nasarawa. They're all over the place. Taraba,
and on top of this, Femi, on top of this, we have negotiators that go back and forth with these bandits, these terrorists, and tell us what they want. Tell us. I mean, run for us.
Okay, this is exactly that's where I was trying to get that's why I was trying to get Raji.
Yes.
Listen to this. Listen, the problem.
Okay,
Raji, hold
John.
on. Raji, hold on. This is what I was trying to get you to allude to, because Femi, okay, just hit it on the head. All this stuff is conspiracy, whether we like it or not. The individual who goes in there to to negotiate with them, know where they are, or maybe they meet halfway, or whatever the case might be, and comes out and tell you what they said. How do you know that that individual is not alerting them when there is some kind of information being brought forth to go and conquer these people? How do we know that he's not communicating with them and say, listen, you guys need to move, you guys need to go somewhere? The point I'm trying to make is this: all this stuff is conspiracy. Why is it that under Buhari's administration, most of these things did not fester like it is right now? Why is it that when a southerner,
not as
much. It did actually. It actually started then.
Yes.
No, I know it did.
Started,
but why is it so rampant now?
Administration.
You know that,
it's been going on for long. It's not even in Jonathan.
You compare the amount and the number.
Femi, it's Jonathan's tenor that we had the Chibok issue now. You forgot.
Yes, but what I'm suggesting to you, what I'm suggesting to you, if you remember Shekarau, who was killed, that was during Obasanjo's time. Obasanjo's time. So, to give this idea, and if you go back in history, communal clashes, herd of farmer clashes, all this banditry has been happening. In fact, there are incidents of 1945 where people have been clashing, communities in the Delta, they've been clashing since 1945. Look, this thing of Nigeria,
this is not communal clash. This is
I know. I said banditry. No, okay. I said banditry, or whatever criminality you want to call it, is criminality at the end of the day. And what I'm suggesting to you, I said this on the program today, some time ago, that Nigerians have a penchant for killing themselves, bringing criminality upon themselves. Someone was saying no. Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying, please. You can say no, but the facts speak otherwise. You understand? The facts are there. You've said they keep on kidnapping, they keep on killing, they keep on doing it. Every week we open our papers, we see it. So it's just a fact. Nigerians are doing it to themselves. And also there are foreigners as well coming in because they see it as an easy touch to come in from Niger, come in from Chad, wherever, and they're doing it as well. So instead of us coming together and fighting it, we're attacking them. They are Fulani, they're this and that. These people are attacking us. So we should be united and saying this is a war against Nigerians. And all Nigerians should come on board to attack those who are attacking us. But instead of that, we start divide and rule and start killing her and start attacking her. It's because the president is this. It's because it's Jonathan. It's because it's Buhari. You allow them in. This is nonsense. No president, and I put this to you, and we're going to go on to Nnamdi Kanu and all that stuff. No president will want under his tenure to see lives lost the way they're being lost now. You can't be a president and say you want to oversee people just dying on a daily basis. You're not. No one wants it. It's not a plan. It's not a conspiracy from the government. It's a nonsense. No government will want that.
Thank you.
Conspiracy.
Okay,
No,
gentlemen, let's move on. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Give your take.
No, I said there is no. We were not saying
when
that
it is when it's about banditry. When it's about banditry, as you see it now, it is a planned conspiracy thing that is ongoing in the north, and there's a history to it. When you look at the locations where this banditry is rampant, you see that they are mostly non-Muslim, non-Fulani, non-Hausa areas.
That's not true. That's not
historical.
True. It's not true.
It is historical. Okay. Now I can tell you, it is non-Fulani, non-Hausa, non-Muslim locations.
So the people in northern Kaduna, are they Muslim or Christians? The people in northern Kaduna that were kidnapped, are they Muslims or Christians?
Non-Hausa.
Let me
non-Hausa.
They're Muslims. They're Muslims.
They are non-Hausa. You didn't hear me. They are non-Hausa.
Let me.
I don't know about that.
I schooled in the north.
I'm telling you historical facts. Because the Fulani army that came to conquer the Hausa north came with bandits. And wherever they could not conquer them, they put bandits against them. They are still in those areas that the Fulani army could not conquer. In 18 something, when this man down and people came.
You believe that there's actually a Fulani army? How many men
there
are
was
there?
a Fulani army. The jihad.
Over 100 years ago. Over 200 years ago.
Yes.
Are they still functioning now?
Oh, Bush.
Okay, gentlemen.
It is historical, and I'm telling you a fact.
There was a plan. There was a planned arrangement. There was an arrangement we had this morning to bring in an ambience of freshness. One of us, BD Nana, is today is her birthday.
Oh wow!
Yes, I wanted us to do that to start the program, but she's knocking off our plan. She's not here now. Anyway, still on guard. We'll bring her in. BD Nana is a year older today, and she's one of our great coordinator and panelists in this program. So I hope her network will, the Nigerian network situation will allow her come in so we can celebrate with her. All right, gentlemen, let's move on. More issues on the burner. This morning, as we're talking right about now, there is an ongoing meeting with the non-academic staff university with government, Nigerian government. And there's a plan that the non-teaching staff, university teaching staff, wants to commence a strike from yesterday. It was supposed to be from yesterday, but they are having a meeting, last-minute meeting, deliberation to see if the strike will go on or if not. Gentlemen, let me start with George. George, we hear strike, plan to strike, attempt to strike, and all over the night, it's quashed. No more strike. They squash it, but their demands are not met. So why wouldn't they just do what they want to do once and for all and settle this? George, what's happening? This is what we're hearing this morning, and we'll be live with the meeting as soon as we're through from this corner. George, what do you think? George, we can't hear you. Okay, yes. Femi, strikes upon strikes, union deliberation upon union deliberation, and no conclusive arrangement. Nothing happens.
Are you referring to the university
yes,
strike?
this morning. Yes.
Yeah, it's still happening. It's been on since Monday or so. I think they've been striking. And the thing is, it's a shame. You know, the Tinubu government said that there will be no more strikes in universities, but these unions insist on striking. You know, I faulted the presidency when he was saying that he will pay them for the times when they were striking. I don't believe that people should be paid for when they're not working. If you are on strike, that period in which you strike, you should not be paid. It's not being done anywhere else in the world. It's just a nonsense, because it's an incentive to continue striking. If you strike during a period of your strike, you shouldn't get paid. So they are putting our students into a precarious situation. It's the students who are suffering. The students, they said there's no electricity in the university. They can't go to lectures. They can't go to the library to research. They've got exams coming up. This is so sad. And this is the students that suffer. To me, if they do 1 or 2 day strikes, that's reasonable. But to just go on an indefinite strike, I think it's outrageous, and they need to change the law to stop that kind of stuff in our education, because our students are the ones who are suffering.
Thank you, Femi. But the issue for me here is they keep coming up with all these things for years now. Every time there's this strike planned, blah blah blah, and nothing happens. They still don't get their demand. They don't come to. I mean, what's that, Raji? Do we have to be going on with this arrangement of back and forth?
When the government takes the stance of pay, if you are on strike, you will not get paid. You know, you don't want to resolve anything. Now, these people have genuine
motive
case. They have genuine cases. There should be a simple method of resolution of all these issues. But it seems as if the government is not interested in providing good education for the people. And therefore, for a long time now, the university system has been disrupted to the extent that the quality of the quality of the personnel, the quality of lecturers, the quality of even the education is continually going down. And it is not in the interest of the people. If you do a history of how our lecturers have been pauperized over the years, you come to understand how our educational system is as it is now. In our time, we had foreign students in our educational system because the lecturers were respected and they were paid well. In fact, most of the lecturers were almost on the par with their higher civil service personnel, because you see the quality of our lecturers initially, it was those who made first class and second class upper who ended up in academia, and they were adequately provided for until the soldiers came in and disrupted the whole system. And by the time things happened, the civil servants who are in charge of all the policies have raised themselves way above their university colleagues, to the extent that when you look at the salary of a professor after 10 years as a professor, the salary of that professor may not be up to 1 million naira a month. And there are no other perks. You see, so the government has to be serious about what they have to do about education. And then they have to stop all the proliferation of federal universities in every hamlet. You are not able to provide quality lecturership for the few universities that you had. We now have more than 120 federal universities. Where is the personnel where is the funding? You are not the students are not paying the right fees. Government cannot fund education up to every level. When the government starts doing that, the quality of the education will deliberately go down. Therefore, let us see what we want to do.
See what we want to do. Raji, you went deep on this. I would have loved to hear George, but George's mic is still off. But gentlemen, please, let's do this. We have 5 minutes to a small break. In our midst is a diva, one of us. She's been active on this network. Bidi Nana. Bidi Nana, you're welcome to News Echoes Wednesday, Global Africa. We're happy to have you here. Now, don't say anything. Sit back, watch something, and we'll come back with you.
Happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. A very, very, very happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. I wish you happy birthday. happy birthday. Happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. A very, very, very happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. I wish you happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. A very, very happy birthday.
Yes, viewers, gentlemen, Femi and Raji, I hope you guys are still there. That's
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
yes.
I'm very jealous, Mark.
Happy
So,
birthday to you.
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
BD
man.
Nana,
Happy birthday.
yes, the publisher of the BD World TV in Nigeria and an active member of the SSM network. She's been very, very resourceful, involved, very prompt when you want her. And we're happy to celebrate your birthday with you. Wish you all the best. And check later, check something, small thing coming in from the SSM network to you. All right, gentlemen, let's go back to the discussion. Now, BD, you need to unmute your phone and get on with the discussion. It's still our job to put out our updates and give our viewers, many of them are right here with us, give them the update on what's happening around in Africa, Nigeria, precisely. Femi, we just finished talking about the Nigerian Union thing, but my take on that is actually the fact that we keep having this incident, strike, plan for strike, blah, blah. And over the night, they squash the strike. So why can't they just, for once, just settle something and stop having this bumpy relationship? That was what I was trying to say. George, are you on? George,
can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Now my question is this. You see, most of the time when the strike is going on, I don't think that we are going to the root cause of the whole entire thing. These people, they have not been paid for 4 months. There is inflation in the country. The food is unaffordable. Gas is unaffordable. Everything is unaffordable. And you still allow them, and you telling them, oh, continue coming to work. People that have families, what do you expect them to do? To go and steal? Or to go and stand on the road and beg while they are professors or non-academic staff? You're not paying them. Do you want them to die of hunger? So why is it that the money, if the money is being released, why is it that the people are not getting paid? Why are they not getting paid? That is that's the bottom line of the whole entire issue there. How can you expect somebody to continue coming to work every single day and not getting paid? So where is the problem coming from is what we need to really find out. Go ahead, Femi. Okay.
Yeah, can I just say, it's not about them not getting paid. What they're trying to get paid is money that they say was owed to them for periods when they were striking and some other emoluments. So it's not about them not getting paid. They're getting paid their normal salary, but they want payment for periods where they were striking previously, and also for balancing differences between ASU and all that kind of stuff. So it's not about them not getting paid. There's no staff that's not getting paid. Let's correct the facts.
It's also an increase in their salary. The salary
was that they were owed 4 months salary. Okay, so if that is the case,
money when they were on strike, not
okay,
just
so
ordinary.
the question is it unconstitutional for them to go on strike? Why were they not getting paid?
Okay.
Why were they not getting paid?
The law says
let's go on a small break.
The law says you don't get paid when you're on strike. That's the law.
That's the law.
That's a stupid law. That's a
it's not a stupid law.
That is
the same law
nonsense.
everywhere in the world.
That is nonsense. It is the government behaving
in the UK,
like a bandit.
If you strike, you don't get
It's
paid.
the government behaving like a bandit.
No, it's not.
If
If
a
you go on
reasonable
strike,
government,
why should you get
a
paid for
reasonable
not
government
working?
will listen to
No
their
way.
will listen to them to
If you
the
have a
issues
business, will you pay
of the
people
people
who are
before
not
they go on
working?
strike.
If you
Before
have
they
a
go on
business,
strike.
will you pay people who are not working?
Before they
You pay
go
them
on
when they're not
strike,
working?
the
Excuse
That's
government is supposed
outrageous.
to
excuse
listen to
me,
them.
excuse me.
Don't come with
Raji,
the nonsense of that if you are
Raji,
on strike, you won't get paid.
Raji,
It's nonsense.
Raji,
It's
All
unconscionable
right,
for
Raji,
then.
government to
You
even
might
stand
as
on
well
that.
just go on
Raji.
strike and continue
Yeah,
getting paid for doing nothing.
Excuse me. Here in Canada, the nurses were going on strike, and the government was not trying to pay them, and they took them to court. And the court sided with the people, not with the government. That they have the constitutional right to go on strike, and when they go on strike, they ought to be paid.
Okay.
So I don't know about Nigeria, but I'm telling you how it is here in Canada.
it is
It's not like that
it's
in
a
the
fascist
UK.
government who will now tell you that if you go on strike, you won't get
fix
paid.
your
That
audio.
is
BD, we
unconscionable.
can't hear you.
Right.
Fix your audio. Okay, we'll be back, gentlemen. Let's go on a small break. More issues on the burner, more things to talk about. See you on the other end. Thank you.
Arise, oh, compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in south-south Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them.
Viewers, you are welcome. We're back. It's Wednesday morning here in Milan, Italy. And today is the 20th of March, 2024, the day BD celebrates her birthday. My name is
By
Mike
the way,
and I'm here
yeah.
with George Chuku from Toronto. Joining us also is our man Godwin Ibe from Moscow, Russia, and Femi is still with us. Sorosoke, Dr. Raji is still with us. Gentlemen, let's go to this one.
Can I wish Biddy happy birthday, please? Because
yes,
I didn't do that before.
You and Godwin,
I
come on,
did.
go
And
ahead.
I was
Go ahead.
yes.
Go ahead.
Happy birthday, Diva Biddy. Where we love you. We thank you for your faith. You make us look better whenever you come on. So we appreciate your presence and we love you. But don't forget my phone when I come back to Nigeria, please.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, Biddy?
Her microphone is still off.
Yes, Godwin, go ahead. Go ahead. Don't worry. She will see it in the preview clip. Go ahead, Godwin.
No, I'll wait for her to come.
Yeah, that's it. I'm doing absentia.
Why will I do absentia?
Gentlemen, I think Raji is in a better position to talk about this. Telecom operators experience a very strong fiber cut, like they said, fiber cut, and outstage for like 2-3 days or so. Raji, the information this morning is it's been restored. Voices, data services have been restored. How true is that? How true is that, Raji? And let's talk about
you can see me clearly and can hear me loud and clear. Evidently,
well, we've missed BD. BD is not here.
Yeah, but normally
BD, you're here.
Okay, BD, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I wish you all the good things you wish yourself. I wish you happiness, joy, love, long life, good health. Yes, and a very happy family beside you.
There you go. There you go. You see,
what was
Dr. Ibe did not ask you about food, Nigerian food.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Ibe did not ask about Nigerian food.
Yes.
He's abandoned us. So.
Not today. Not today.
Okay, gentlemen, Femi, you are the Sorosoke man. You like to talk about issues. While we have, we know human endeavors and activities now all rely on connectivity. I mean, telecom is the powerhouse of everything now. Why will there be an outstage for that length of time, about 3-4 days? Companies were shut down, activities, phone calls, everything was not working in Africa and mainly in Nigeria. Femi,
not mainly in Nigeria. It's the whole of
not mainly in Nigeria.
With the number of people in Nigeria, it affects more. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
you can't compare Nigeria and Senegal. You can't compare Nigeria and Gambia.
Yeah, well, if you're in Senegal, you wouldn't think that you would be in a problem the same way. And basically, there's a network of undersea cables that go from South Africa up to the western coast. So there's quite a few of these cables, and a lot of them were something happened to the cables. These and they were compromised, and so because they were the main network cables, that's why it hit us so hard. But what we have to do is we have to thank that they found where the problem was, and it has been repaired. So, and I think 4 days is not that long. But what we need to do is we need to have more cables laid so that if one network is disrupted, others, we could then bounce onto another one. So this is where I think there's a problem.
I see, there are always multiple backups.
Yeah, multiple backups.
And
the situation caused a little bit of strife between fractions. Some people said it's the Houthi rebels strike on the high sea.
It has nothing to do with the Houthis. It has. What happened was that maybe there was something happened with the cables along the West African coast. The West African coast is actually very, very densely populated, and there's a lot of maritime activities, and also there are cases of depth. There's no depth, but honestly, if you saw the breakdown of how it affected countries along West Africa in particular, you see that it didn't affect Nigeria much. It didn't affect South Africa so much. And all those other countries where it is affected, they wouldn't even feel it much because their traffic is not much. So what happens is that, and there are sufficient backups. When the cables fail, we can easily switch on to satellite and all those things. So I don't think it was a serious problem.
You don't think it was a serious problem? But we were
I don't think it was a very serious problem because there are backups.
Problem for some of us. Business people were locked down. Godwin, then Fibre will give us the last take since she's also there in Africa.
Yes, I would like to say that first of all, thank you, panel, for having me and viewers for tuning in. I would like to say that if Raji and BD says it's fine, I mean, they were okay with the drop in capacity and the traffic speed and volume. Well, what can I say? I'm not there. But what I can say is that normally, maybe this is an exception to the rule. Normally, redundancy means that network comes back in a few hours maximum, not days. Days is means that the architecture is poor, and also you understand that when we speak about network capacity, I mean, it doesn't mean that the network has to die totally before there's a problem. There is expected traffic and then there's expected capacity to hold lanes to hold the traffic. So when there's a slowdown, significant reduction in speed, it affects user experience, financial transactions, delays, all this. It doesn't have to be at a standstill. For example, I could be seeing you on a Zoom call. It doesn't mean that everything is okay, because you could be, for example, streaming now at 2 megabits per second instead of 20, for example. So definitely, when redundancy is poor, such that it requires so many days, and the capacity therefore is reduced for this length of period, then it means that the architecture is not proper. I also like to say that I like Raji's idea concerning private businesses doing more to help infrastructure. But I would like to highlight that there's always a public-private partnership. It's all over the world. There's a degree to which the government helps and then allows private business to come in. What the government basically helps is the backbone. And it's just like you have a spinal cord in your body, yeah? And then the ribs can be by private individual. Let me come down to communications. The connection of local government areas isn't a bad idea, because it's just local government. You're connecting just point to point, not multi-point, point to point. And then private business can take it from distribution from local government center to homes, terrestrial residents, for example. The government could also take a step further back and say, okay, we wouldn't give to local government, give to state capitals, for example, government centers in states, and then let the private business take it from there. So there's always a degree to public-private partnership. It's everywhere. For example, in Russia, for example, in terms of when we look at transportation, the government takes care of intercity routes. They're operated by the federal government. And then when you come to suburban trains, they are controlled by the Moscow government, not by the federal government. So there's always that level, the degree where that cutoff point is something that should be agreed. For example, if it isn't very profitable for businesses to set up infrastructure, then the government should say, okay, since there are not enough interest from private sector, we either make it more palatable or we step in, because it's a strategic investment. It is not just for profit oriented. It is a social right, a social requirement in today's age, considering that social services depend on it, financial transactions depend on it. So there has to be that decision from a policy perspective on the public-private partnership for such kind of endeavor. I hope I'm making sense.
So much sense, my man.
Yes.
So much sense, my
making
man.
a lot of sense.
Breakdown. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The government signed a $2 billion contract for for internet network to every local government. I hope you know that.
2 billion what? 2 billion naira or dollars or euros?
Dollars.
Okay,
that's what we're talking about. Femi, that's what we're talking about. Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes. I think
let's move on. But BD, we've still not heard from you. I hope the connection is not still gripping with you there. Then we will take back all we've said and say it's still not working.
It's breaking.
It's breaking.
I don't think we should do it. Can you hear me?
It's breaking.
You are breaking.
So good.
Can you hear me? I can hear me. Can you hear me? Oh my God. I
It's
can
breaking.
hear everyone. Can you hear me?
Continue.
You are breaking.
No, we can't hear you.
I don't
No.
think the connection is okay in Nigeria.
It's not okay, man. Viewers,
Yeah.
I mean, BD is
I mean,
Okay.
this is it. It's not okay.
Listen to this, Mark.
This is
Mark.
included.
Go ahead.
Mark.
Go ahead.
When it comes to some of these things, I think if you go back, the reason why people are so always looking at the government, and the government is proud to hold on to a lot of contracts and a lot of services, is because of the military. It wasn't supposed to be that way in the very beginning. Most of these things that are supposed to be, the people are looking into the government is simply because when the military took over, they hijacked everything, they took it on, they wanted to be the main source of every single thing that is going on. So they became the center of everything. So right now, what you're seeing is that slowly it is coming back, and when you have a former military leader, the mentality is still there. The belief system is still there. And that is the reason why most of the time, everything that is centralized, when it goes bonkers, you don't see a readily easy solution. Simply because it was supposed to be just like what Dr. Godwin was saying, that it's supposed to be a partnership between some of them the government might handle, some of them individuals might also handle. And that's how it is around most civilized world. So we are seeing these things happen, coming back again the way it's supposed to be.
I'll put in a word there. Up to now, it is difficult for a state to have its own real system, which was the case when in 1983 or 4, Lagos State wanted to do a metro line system. But because it was against the constitution then for them to have, when Buhari came in, they cancelled it. Up to now, until recently, having a separate electricity grid from the national grid was not allowable. Now they can do up to maybe 10 gigawatts of kidney. Up to now, the waterways are controlled by the federal government. I don't understand why the waterways could be controlled like in a place like Lagos State or Bayelsa, which is entirely water, and especially for Lagos State because of its own mobility system. Lagos is essentially water, and if the government is in control of waterways, I don't see how the federal government could come and control waterways in the state. You see?
Wow.
So,
okay. We're all saying the same thing, and that Femi Oke has always said those words. He has always said they need to decentralize a lot of these activities into smaller units, and that's what Godwin is saying. That's what George is saying, gentlemen, and maybe that's what is causing the death in Delta State. What could have happened to people in Delta? Who could have killed the soldiers? The Senate leader Pabio says Mercenaries came in and did that havoc in Okwama in Ughelli South local government of Delta State. Let's talk about this. Femi, you are one agitator of this is where you talk about this. Femi, tell us who killed those soldiers in Delta State and why this reprisal attack that is now taking life of people in the community.
I'm not privy to the exact information you're requesting. If we knew that, everyone would know it. And we know that someone within the community, I don't believe what Akabio said, that they're mercenaries from somewhere else. I think it's likely to be people within that community or nearby communities. Apparently there's been conflict between the neighboring communities for decades now. And there's also issues to do with warlords in the area. They've got issues going on. So who knows? And then maybe there's issues to do with bunkering, all sorts of stuff, you know, smuggling. You never know. Because why were, you know, these soldiers there in the middle of the night or whenever it was that they went there? What were they doing? Well, you know, do you need to follow the timeline of exactly who gave the instructions? What were the orders? What were the, you know, the, what actually happened for them to be there at that time? Were there any survivors out of those that were killed? If there was none, I mean, when you go into an operation, you would expect an operation to have a backup plan. You understand? I wouldn't expect soldiers to just go in without having backup in case what happens if this was to happen? Where's the backup? You see, so we don't really know what happened. Where's the communication? You know, they need to track their telephone lines if they had telephone so they can know what's happened. You know, were their telephones stolen? Can they track them? So there's a lot of things that needs to be gone here. I believe that the culprits will be found, and we just hope that they will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is the most important thing, to act as a deterrent to others. As I say, this killing is happening all over Nigeria. There's no region that is free of these kind of senseless killings. Soldiers who are there to safeguard Nigerians are being slaughtered, you know, ridiculously. You know, all Nigerians must be up in arms and against this kind of stuff. And I pray that the government the soldiers don't do an OD or Zakibium and just destroy the village. But
they have already done that.
That's almost like what's happening. It's a massacre going on.
But you know that this is likely to be what will happen.
Yeah, let's hear from BD now. BD, yes, you were following up some of those stories. I saw your the updates you were putting out. 5 days after this tragic murder of Nigerian army personnel, what we're seeing is reprisal attacks. That's not so good too. A whole community getting out, being killed in a gruesome way. BD, tell us with your updates that I'm seeing. What's your take today? The cable outstage is still affecting your network.
No, it's a birthday celebration.
Yes, and I think we can hear you, BD.
We can hear you.
All right, George. Let's hear George. George, are you with that?
No, yes. You know, one of the saddest things I have heard recently is passing the buck. Rather than allowing investigation to find out exactly what happened, people in authority will start blaming all kinds of, doing the Adamic syndrome. You know, it is this woman that you gave me that caused me to do something. Why would IPOB, the Senate president, you know, without adequate investigation, without even looking, you know, the people on top ought to control what they say, how they say it, and when they say it. You can't just open up your mouth and begin to voice nonsense without, you know, any proof behind it. That's number one. Number two is this particular thing that happened with the military men in that area it's as a result of us. Okay, we know what's his name, this mercenary, or what do you call him again, Asari Dokubo, who is boasting about all kinds of things he's been doing, you know, with weapons. And where does he get the weapons from? Does he have the license to have, you know, these weapons? Maybe he does. But, you know, when you allow such a thing to start happening, you know, all of a sudden you're blaming the outsiders. It is very highly possible that there are people from that area who equip themselves with, you know, military equipment and was able to just massacre these, you know, military men. So you start talking about that it might be from outside of the mercenaries. Who hired the mercenaries? The villagers? The villagers hired the mercenaries.
Okay. Who hired the mercenaries?
It doesn't make any sense to me.
BD.
You know, I want to say something.
Go ahead.
No, if BD can speak, let her go ahead. If BD can speak, let her go ahead. BD, are you audible?
We've not had you yet.
No, still not.
No. All right,
it's still not good. It's not good.
It's still not good. Sorry, BD.
Okay.
So that means we need to still talk about the telecom thing next time.
No, but I wanted to say something quickly.
I think this is unique to her.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to say that we are looking at it from one aspect. Yeah, we haven't looked at it from another aspect. That's why it probably doesn't make sense to some of us. Look at it this way. Akpabio knows the response. Military will come in and massacre his people. So he just put it out there to say it's not my people. Even though he has no credible, it's impossible for him to have had a credible conclusion or a credible investigation as at the point where he made that utterance. It just goes to show the kind of jungle justice we have. Yes. My fear is that not only the massacre, they can also, there are also cases where they are scapegoats. They bring 5 innocent people. Or they even bring 5 people from the prison who are in the prison serving another term, like maybe minor theft. Bring the 5 of them, parade them, beat them to pulp, and then they confess. And then they face the consequences of the murder, and they say, yeah. And they use them as a scapegoat. These are things that happen. And this is probably one of the reasons why he said that, even though it was misguided, but it seems more like a defensive position, more than a position to just rush and say something. But anyway, I'm tired of sounding like a broken record. We know the main problems. It's like going to red light district and trying to ban prostitution, or going to Mexico and trying to ban drugs. I mean, I don't mean any slight to any of these countries. I'm just saying, like, from what we know them, stereotypical image.
Thank you.
We don't have reconnaissance, no surveillance. Most of the cases that are solved today in the world are solved from replay of video shots, surveillance footage. It's not by asking people questions on the road and using their statement to shoot other people.
Gentlemen, you see how time flies when we're together. BD, we really want to hear your voice. Just one word, if you can say, so we all get out. We go to our other activities, but she can't. Her voice is not coming up. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been beautiful having you all.
You didn't talk about Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, we can't because the network.
We cannot fight extra 5 minutes. Come on, man. You can't do that one.
I'm getting the beep. The network is saying.
Nnamdi Kanu said he will stop the violence in 2 minutes.
Whoa, he said so.
You can talk 2 minutes. Come on, man.
Come on, Friday. That could also be an international issue.
I mean, we can do it quickly in 2 minutes. I don't know.
Please, because we need to go into other activities too.
All right.
Okay, good.
All right.
So, gentlemen, thank you. BD, happy birthday to you. Viewers, thank you for tuning in. Guys, thank you all for coming. We appreciate this. You all have said so much, giving good insights to the topics today. So we'll come again Friday. Everybody be around Friday. Let's be here Friday. Let's look into issues. Nnamdi Kanu and him saving Nigeria from the havoc going on, and more stories on Friday. Thank you. God bless you. Have a beautiful Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Yeah, same to you, man. Yep.